happens when the people protesting outside the building finally get handed the keys to it? Right, we need to talk. Reform UK think that they are ready to run Sunderland. But as somebody who's actually sat inside that council chamber, I'm not quite sure people understand what that job does to you. So, I want to ask you this. Do you think passion and fresh ideas matter more than experience when it comes to running a city? Okay, leave your answers in the comments. This week, Reform announced Chris Enyon as leader and Dan Cowie as deputy leader. And instantly the reaction online was quite predictable. They're too young, too inexperienced, not ready. But honestly, I think people are asking the wrong questions. You see, running a city isn't about sounding confident in opposition, shouting on Facebook and giving radical ideas in TV interviews. It's about what happens when the responsibility for a city becomes your real life. Now, before people think this is just going to be another political rant, I'm saying this as somebody who's actually been inside local government. I've sat through the meetings, I've read the reports, I've seen the pressure that people are under behind closed doors. I've seen what happens when the budgets don't add up and entire communities are actually relying on you to make the right decisions. And trust me, I've watched experienced politicians struggle under that pressure. People with decades in politics. Which is why what's happening in Sunderland right now is genuinely fascinating to me. This is where politics changes. Because when you're campaigning, every problem has a really simple answer. But when you're governing, every answer creates 3 new problems. And that's the moment that every outsider movement eventually faces when they take power. Can you still sound revolutionary once you become responsible for the consequences? Now, part of me thinks this could genuinely be one of the most important political experiments Sunderland has seen in years. Because if reforms succeed, they'll prove outsiders can actually govern. But if they fail, like some of the other reform councils across the country are starting to, it raises a much darker question about modern politics altogether. Now, politically, I'm Labour. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But this channel isn't going to become another place where people can just scream party slogans at each other all day. There's enough of that already, everywhere on the internet. What I actually want to build here is a space where people from different political views can properly debate the future of Sunderland. That doesn't matter whether you're Labour, Reform, Conservative, Lib Dem, Green, Independent, or people who've never voted in their lives. Everybody. Because whether people like it or not, British politics is changing. And Sunderland, well, it's changing with it. So I genuinely want to hear from people in the comments. Do you think fresh outsiders can govern better than experienced politicians? Or do you think people only understand the weight of leadership once they actually step inside the system? And be honest, because some of the most interesting conversations happen when people disagree respectfully. And if you want more real conversations about how politics actually works behind the scenes, follow the page, subscribe, join the debate, because the next few years in Sunderland's politics are going to get very, very interesting, because anybody can tell people what's broken. The real question is, what happens when the people protesting outside the building finally get handed the keys to it? Agree or disagree? Talk to me.